Hi, we're the Clark family, and we've sold our house and packed up our lives and moved to Galicia in northern Spain.
So follow us as we start our new lives, learn new skills, join a new community, and try to live a more sustainable life.
Hi guys, welcome back to another week at Escape to El Campo.
We're filming inside today because it's incredibly blustery and incredibly rainy and a bit miserable outside, so we're hiding behind a very hot fire.
And very cold as well. The snow up on Monte di Faro. Well, there certainly was this morning, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty chilly outdoors today, so we're keeping warm. Perhaps a little bit too warm. So we better hurry up with this video before we melt. So yeah, so busy old week as promised last week. Emma went to the Women in Farming weekend away, didn't you?
Yeah, which was pretty incredible, to be fair. Really enjoyed it. It was quite eye-opening in many ways. I'm not going to say too much because I have done a little video with some photos for you, so...
I wanted to tell you about where I went last weekend, and I mentioned it briefly in our video from last week. So it was the, apologies that I can't say this entirely in Spanish. It's the Secretaria das Mujeres, that's Galician, de the Sindicato Labrego Galego, and it's the women's group for it's like a farmers union, for want of a better description, but it's the women's branch of it. And we met up for 2 days in Chantada in a gorgeous, really old building. I'm not sure what it was historically, but it's been clearly very well renovated and it's absolutely stunning. And I would say there was perhaps 50 or 60 of us there for the weekend. The entire weekend was all done in Galician language, so I started off at the beginning understanding absolutely none of it. One of my neighbours, bless her heart, was sat next to me, and she's from the south of Spain. She doesn't speak Galician either, so we kind of sat there together like two foreigners. Well, one foreigner, one sort of foreigner. We referred to ourselves as the foreigners. It's okay for me to say that. And she was understanding what was going on, and she'd get her translation app out and she'd write it in Spanish and have it translated to English, so that I was kind of following on with what was going on, which was cool actually, because actually I was reading what she was writing in Spanish before I would read what she'd written in English, and actually I was understanding quite a lot of it. But as the weekend went on and on and on, by the end of Sunday, the woman did a presentation about her artisanal cheese making business, and I understood all of it. I mean, obviously there's words that I've never heard before, like the words for yeasts and the words for curing and other words to do with cheese making, but I'm not sure that I would have known those words in English before I'd watched that presentation. But I definitely understood the gist of what was going on, how she made her cheese, how she started her business, and I felt very smug myself. But it was a 20th anniversary for the women's section for the Farmers Union, and I mean, obviously they're incredibly proud of it, and so they should be. So they were talking about a lot of the struggles that women had in farming, and women still have in farming, whether that's from being a farmer's wife or a farmer's daughter, or running your own farm as a woman, and the support that they get through the union and through their neighbours and through friends and things. They're clearly very passionate women. Most of them are feminists. They describe themselves as being feminists. They're incredibly interesting, with so many stories to tell. I'm really looking forward to going back next year, and I have got the absolute determination to be able to speak Galician and to fully understand Galician, so that next year I can be fully involved in exactly what they're talking about, because it was just absolutely brilliant. We had a traditional lunch that was caldo de Galicia, and it's like a soup, I suppose, with beans and vegetables and little bits of meat in it, and it's cooked for a very long time, so the meat is incredibly tender and all broken up into it, and that was gorgeous. followed by meat with potatoes. I asked the women, how on earth do you make potatoes like this? And there's some sort of secret ingredient that was completely missed in translation that I've got no idea what it is, but they're the most creamiest boiled potatoes. I mean, it's just a boiled potato, but trust me when I say that they're incredible. And then cakes with pudding. And then in the evening, we, what do we do in the evening? Oh, in the evening, a traditional Galician band played, and there was two women on giant tambourines, for want of a better description, and another woman that was playing the shells, and they're big shells, like the Camino de Santiago shells, and she had back to back, and she was kind of rubbing them together in time, and yeah, it was so cool. I wouldn't know how to describe the type of music that it is, so I'm going to play you a clip now.
Graba. Sì, la musica, sta gravando.
A minha filha eu quero a ver, toda o pandeiro é bailar bem, feitinha no corpo é no bailar, eu quero que siga no nosso lugar.
And then Saturday night we also all had to make a plate of food to take with us to share, and it was like a big buffet, I suppose, with all sorts of tortillas and empanadas and cakes and meat and more potatoes and different types of bread. I took 2 loaves of sourdough bread, and I also took some peanut butter cookies, which went down very well. And then we went back again on Sunday, and it was some of the founding members. We had chats with them about where they came from, how they joined, why they joined, that kind of thing. There was a woman there that actually initially joined in the main group of the union, so she then became one of the founding members of the women's section, which was really cool. So she's been in farming for like 40 odd years, I think, and so she was talking about some of what it was like for her as the group sort of progressed. And then we went to a bodega, or a winemaking facility in the Ribera Sacra. Now, we don't really have any photos of this because it was absolutely chucking it down, but in one of our other YouTube videos we did do a tour of the Ribera Sacra with some drone footage, so head over and have a look at that if you want to see, if you've never heard of Ribera Sacra before. But yeah, she ran her own bodega. It was like a family inherited. So she taught us all about how the wine's produced, and where they grow the wine, they grow the grapes, and then from picking it to the whole process you can imagine. And I don't drink alcohol, but I couldn't go to somewhere like that and not try the wine. And let me tell you, it was delicious. So all in all, it was absolutely exhausting. I reckon that I slept for about 14 hours on Sunday night, just from the excitement of the weekend and meeting so many new people, but just my brain just constantly be on listening to people chatting in Galician, and then trying to pick out words that I understood that were a bit similar to the ones in Spanish, and then putting them into English to try and keep up with what was going on, which was exhausting, but that's what I've signed up for, I suppose. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to more and more experiences like that as I'm getting myself more and more sort of integrated with everybody from around here, and can't believe how lucky I am. Also on Saturday there was a seed swap. Now obviously I didn't have anything to take, we've only been here 6 months, so we've not been able to produce any of our own seed, and it was incredible. Somebody would come up and with their little pile of seeds that they've brought, and describing what they all were. At the end of them presenting, of all the different women presenting all the different seeds that they've brought, they all got onto a table, and then we just sort of helped ourselves to the ones that we want. Oh, I should mention this bag. My neighbour, Olga, she's incredible. We've talked about her many times, lots of things with her. I'm going for a cooking lesson with her this afternoon, how to make caldo de Galicia, because it's very important, I know. And she won an award at the weekend for her hard work and her dedication to the group. And it was a complete surprise for her, she had no idea, and as a complete coincidence, she had done a painting to commemorate the group, and then had them all printed on some bags. So we were all given a very cool bag. She's done this in complete secret. We do go to a painting class on a Monday in the village. Yeah, and nobody knew that she'd done this. This is a complete secret project that she'd done. Yeah, you know, sometimes you just can't believe how lucky you are. I think I feel that.
Oh, on Monday we went and ordered our chickens.
Yay! So they're coming next Monday, which is very exciting.
Yeah, so we went to we went and got our licence for a start, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, on Monday we went to the agricultural office and got our licence to keep chickens, not kill. Yep, so we've got a license to keep the chickens. We've ordered 6,
Gallinas.
yeah, hen laying chickens.
No, they're egg laying chickens. They don't lay hens.
Oh no, egg laying chickens. Well, ultimately they would become hens, wouldn't they?
They would if we had a cock.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, so we've ordered them, and I've done a little bit more work on the chicken pen coop.
I think they're saying a little bit of work is downplaying. I think that actually what you've done is pretty incredible, to be fair.
Well, it's okay. Just knock something up with a bit of scrap wood that I found lying around. So I made a nest box for 3 nest boxes and a little some perches, and I've also installed some anti-air defences in the outdoor coop to keep the old big birds of prey off of the chickens when they're outdoors. Hi everybody, it's one of them days where the rain just keeps coming and then stopping and then coming and then stopping, and it's quite chilly outside as well today. So I'm in the garage making nest boxes for our hens that are coming next Monday. We've ordered them in the week. 6 egg-laying hens are coming, so I need to produce some egg nest boxes for them, somewhere nice for them to sit and lay their eggs. Apparently, you need 1 nest box per 3 hens. So we got 6 coming, so I'm going to do 3 nest boxes. 3 nest boxes for the 6 hens, so that's a ratio of 1 to 2. So hopefully that'll cut down on any sort of squabbling that may happen between them, and just make life a whole lot more comfortable for them. So I'm going to crack on with that. Yeah. Okay, so that's all the bits cut out. I planned this in my head, so things could go terribly wrong. But now it's time to screw them all together and see how it looks. Okay, so I think that's pretty much finished. Just need to get a bit of sandpaper off and just take these sharp corners off and stuff like that, and along here. I'm going for some lunch, so I'll do that afterwards. I've drilled these holes in the back, so I'm going to take these screws and mount them on the wall up in the chicken pen. So we'll be able to mount, and then it'll drop down onto there to hold it in place. And then when we need to take it off to clean it or do any repairs on it, which I shouldn't think it will because it's fairly substantial, it'll be fairly easy to just take it on and off without having to undrill stuff. Yep, so we'll stick some, once I've sanded these edges off, stick some sawdust in here, and it's ready to go. So I just need to go and drill 3 holes up in the wall up there, up in the blocks, stick some raw plugs in it, get this mounted, fill it with sawdust, and then I just need to, I've got some perches ready to go, so I just need to mount some perches, and yeah, it was all ready for chickens on Monday. Chicken coop is about ready, I think. I put some plastic across the doors because there was quite big gaps between the wood, and I read that chickens don't like a lot of draft, so I thought I'd just exclude the draft by putting the plastic over the door. So I've made this this stand just here, these perches. I'm not sure if they're right or not. I've read of quite a bit of conflicting information on the internet about what a perch should be and how it should be. But yeah, I've made these out of branches that are found knocking around on the up in our woods. So I'm hoping that they're gonna work. If not, I can always adjust it. And here's the nest box in situation now. So that just needs some sawdust or some straw putting in it for the ladies. I do need to fill this crack along the top here, because obviously that's going to be a source of potentially rodents getting in, maybe if the cats aren't keeping them down. But I've got some mortar that I'm just going to fill that that gap in with over this weekend. The door hasn't come yet, the automated door. It's been dispatched, but it's not here. So this is the door at the minute. So we might have to come up and manually open that for the first couple of days. So that's the inside done. Just need to obviously put some sawdust down on the floor, which we've got. And yeah, so that's that. And outside, I've now put up the aerial defence to stop any big birds coming in through the top there. Hopefully that should keep them out. I've just captured that with some battens along the wall here just to hold it down, so that's fairly substantial. To keep that down, and over this side just zip tied it into the existing fence. Yeah, I think I'll get in here with a shovel over the weekend and just level this out as well a bit, because this is sort of the dry area where there'll be dust bathing, etc, etc. But apart from that, I need to hang the food and the water feeder up in here. But apart from that, we're all set for the ladies on Monday. So hopefully, touch wood, we're good for keeping the foxes out, and we're good for keeping the birds of prey out. I'm not really sure what else we can do other than what we have done.
Yeah, we're completely new at this whole hen keeping game. So if you see anything that we perhaps could do better, then please leave us a comment and let us know. We'd really appreciate some feedback.
Yeah, it was quite funny when we went to the co-op to order the chickens, because we had a choice of either meat-eating chickens and hen-laying chickens. And we'd sort of got in our head that we would have 1 cock and 6 hens, which would supply us with eggs, but we would be able to take those eggs whenever we wanted and stick them in an incubator and then breed ourselves some meat-eating chickens. Now, when we explained that to the people at the agricultural co-op, just no, that doesn't happen. You just don't do that, do you?
No. Well, I don't see why not.
I don't see why not. But we were advised that that's not what they do here.
Can I also just very quickly clarify as well, because normally it's me that comes out with the really stupid things. However, I would like to point out that chickens are herbivores and they don't eat meat.
Do I know why?
No, we're not going to be producing meat-eating chickens.
Okay, chickens for meat, for us to eat.
Chickens for eating, not meat-eating chickens.
So
They've got little teeth on their beaks and they're like...
So chickens are herbivores, or they aren't herbivores? What did you just say?
But they are.
They are herbivores.
They're herbivores. They don't eat meat.
Well, they do. They eat bugs and spiders, and you can give them those little grubs as well, can't you? Those maggots, those black fly. We've watched all those YouTube videos of those people producing black flies. So
Yeah.
I think you'll find that you're wrong and I'm correct.
They're not meat.
Anyway, they're not meat-eating chickens.
They're chickens for meat.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've ordered the 6 egg-laying hens, gallinas, and we're going to build a chicken tractor, which we've ordered the wood for. So we've ordered some chicken wire, some finer grade chicken wire, which has got a name that I can't think of at the minute. We've got the roof for it, and we've got all the hinges and handles and bolts and all that sort of stuff for it, haven't we?
Yeah, we put yourself a new staple gun.
Yeah, staple gun for stapling on the chicken wire, because I was using those U-nails on the on that one. Can you see that one? That one up there I'm pointing at? That one up there, the coop, the existing coop, but because my fingers are quite fat, when I hold them and tap it with a nail, always my fingers get hit first before the staple goes in. So I'm fed up of having bruised fingers from knocking those U-nails in, so I bought a stapler and hopefully that does the job to save my fingers. It was quite interesting ordering the wood as well, wasn't it?
It was incredible.
Because when we were at the ferreteria,
yeah,
which is if you imagine Arkwright's shop open all hours, and I'm sure that's just a reference for the British viewers here.
Of a generation.
Of a certain generation. The ferreteria is just like that. there's one fella in there, and behind he's got his
Counter.
he's got his counter, and behind him are just boxes of screws and handles and bolts and hinges and everything. You ask him for it, and he goes off and he's looking and putting it back up and looking at the next one. Then he comes, then he weighs the screws out, and then he charges you by the gram for the screws.
Yeah.
And then he puts the boxes back, and it all gets put away again. So it's just like, it was just like our clothes. We were itching to ask for fork handles, but we thought it would be lost in there on them, didn't we? Anyway, so we asked the ferreteria. Is that the right word? Is that what he is?
Yeah.
We asked him if he knew anywhere we could buy some wood, and he gave us some directions. We went up there, and basically it was a timber yard. So it was just full of trees, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
cut down trees.
yeah, obviously. Yeah, cut down trees, or felled trees. I think the actual proper terminology.
Would you not call them logs?
Well, I think a log is of a certain size.
Anyway,
we digress once again. So we went to the timber yard, and you tell him what timber you want, what size, and he cuts it for you.
Yeah.
He goes and gets a log or a tree, a felled tree, and takes it inside, and he's got these massive machines in there, and he cuts the timber there and then. Well, not there and then, but we left him with a list of what we wanted,
Yeah.
and yeah, he cuts it, doesn't he?
Yeah. There was like a selection of wood knocking around, whether they're for other orders or not.
No,
I'm not
I think
really
it
sure, to
must
be
be.
fair. Yeah. But yeah. So you've managed to. You went away. We got an idea of what he could do, and then. I mean, you just expect him to walk in somewhere like B&Q and off the shelf, these are the different sizes that they do, and then, so we sort of went in, like, what sizes do you do? And he was like, well, what do you mean? Like, what do I do? What size do you want? And we were like, well, that's a good size. And he was like, well, thicker, thinner, wider, what do you want? So then we went away.
So we were standing there scratching our heads a lot, and he says, go away and plan and come back again.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
Yeah. So you did a very good drawing.
Yeah, I did some
to
planning.
scale to drawing, actually. That was very clever.
Yes, it was to scale. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, we'll know when the wood arrives whether how good his scaling drawing actually is. But yeah, it's a fascinating place, wasn't it? When
It
you
was,
went
yeah.
and bought wood from somewhere like B&Q or whatever before.
Yeah, so I mean, I suppose if you look from a sustainability point of view, you know, you go into B&Q and you buy, and you know, the pine there is probably come from Scandinavia, so there's all the cost of the fuel and the CO2 that's been emitted in transporting that over. This is literally from the surrounding area. It's perhaps been transported 10 miles into the timber yard. He cuts it down to size. We bring it back here, and to be fair, there's some trees been felled over the road here. Quite possibly, the wood that we're going to be using is from the trees that have been felled over the road from here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's brilliant, really. It is really, really good. Yeah, so we're going to be building a chicken tractor for our meaty chickens, not the meat-eating chickens. So that will be a project for next week if the wood's cut and he rings us and we go down and collect it.
And the weather improves.
And the weather improves, so I can get out and do it. Oh, the market was on during the week as well in town. And it was Emma's birthday, so happy birthday, Emma.
Thanks.
21 again. So we went into town and we treated ourselves to pulpo, which is a bit of a delicacy around here, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, Chantada being within the province that's the furthest away from the coast of all the provinces in Galicia is somehow famous for its octopus. And it's incredible. It's delicious, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really, really, really nice. So we went down there, and the setup is that there's the market, and there's a hall there which is set out with tables and benches, and they run a sort of a bar from there, don't they? So you go in and you order your bread. So between us, we get given half a loaf of bread, and then you order your wine if you're having wine, and you order your beer if you're having beer, or a coffee or whatever, and they bring it across. But you don't actually get your pulpo from there. Set up outside are numerous vendors. How many would you say? Perhaps 8?
Yeah, something
Perhaps
like
8 different vendors, and you go to your favourite one. We always use the same one, and they bring the pulpo in on a wooden platter, and they absolutely drench it in olive oil,
Yeah.
and also
We have ours with paprika. don't
with
we?
paprika, and you sit there with a little toothpick and you eat it, and you dip your bread in it, and you drink your little wine with it.
Little wine.
Yeah, little wine.
As it was my birthday, and I don't drink alcohol, I says to Adam, normally, they always say to you, do you want bread and wine? And we normally say, no, I'll have a Coke. And I says, well, as it's my birthday, why don't you have a glass of wine? So she came over, and she says, do you want wine? And he was like, yeah, I'll have a wine, please. Do you want a big one or a small one? So he says, I'll have a small one, please. Hello. And you come in to tell as well. Thank you, that's very kind. And so Adam says, I'll have a small wine, please. And bearing in mind that a normal bottle of wine is 75 cl,
Yeah.
what you got was 50 cl.
50 cl.
Yeah, so it wasn't really very small at all. It was still a good.
I was expecting a glass
Yeah.
as opposed to a bottle.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you nearly got a whole bottle of wine.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and then came home and slept for
And
about an
slept.
hour.
After I had that. So that was a nice afternoon. All the dogs have had their vaccinations today. The vets actually come out to our house, and they've had their annual vaccination. I'm not sure what it's for. Well, there's one for.
Get down.
There's one vaccination for rabies, which they need to have every year in Spain. Obviously, we don't do that in the UK unless the dogs are travelling abroad. And then there's the normal vaccination.
Yeah, and I think it said like it's just their tetanus. There was something else, and then it was the kennel cough.
Yeah.
So I think it's like the normal vaccines that you get everywhere, plus the rabies.
Yeah.
And we worked out that last year, because they had to have the rabies to come out here, and so with their rabies that cost us 180 pounds for the 2 for the rabies, and we spent another 80 pounds for the 2 on their annual boosters last May, and he charged us €46.
For all of that,
Yeah.
that cost us £260 last year.
Yeah, and I says each, and he says no for the 2. So it was about £210 cheaper
Yeah.
than what it would have been in
The
the UK.
UK. And he came to the house. We didn't have to take the dogs in the car and take them to the vets.
No, and it was so much less stressful. I mean, not that our dogs get stressed about stuff like that anyway, but he just sort of sat there with them, and they sort of got used to him, and then jabbed him in the
Yeah, did
neck.
the job.
Yeah, and off they went. So it was really cool.
Yeah. So and he's going to be coming back at a later date to have a look at the cats as well.
Yeah, they need neutering. We don't want kittens. The seeds are doing really well that we planted a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yes, yeah, they're coming up. They've come on really well. We planted a lot of sunflowers, and I think we've had almost 100% success rate with the sunflowers, haven't
Yeah,
we?
it's been really good. So far no sign of tomatoes or peppers.
I've got a sneaky suspicion we may have planted them and not kept them warm enough. So if there's no sign of them in the next week or two, then we'll be planting them again, I think, and bringing them indoors.
Or looking at getting a heat mat or something.
Or getting a heat mat or something like that, just to give them a bit of heat. Been a busy week. I've been quite busy with work this week as well.
I've been busy socialising with the neighbours. It's been wonderful. I went round to Maricarmen's house in Salto yesterday for a lesson with Olga, our favourite neighbour, to teach me how to make the traditional Galician caldo, which is, I suppose it's like a soup, isn't
It's a
it?
soup,
Like
yeah.
but a very, very slow cooked soup with vegetables and beans and tiny little bit of meat. That is like a broth, I suppose, because
Yeah.
it's got a bone in it, so
Yeah.
whatever meat sort of comes off the bone. So we had that for lunch today, didn't we?
Yeah, it's lovely, really nice. I really do like caldo.
Yeah.
So Emma did tell me a bit about a woman's weekend away, and sounded some very surreal moments and stuff. But perhaps the most surreal moment is when she slipped in the conversation that on Saturday night, 'cause she didn't get home till about 1 o'clock in the morning, a dirty stop out. When she slipped in the conversation, and she just mentioned that she bought half a cow as well. So one of our neighbours, we're going halves on a cow with one of our neighbours. So I'm expecting a tractor to turn up with half a cow on the forks at some point in the next month or two.
It's more than a month or two, and it's not going to come on a tractor. Oh, it might come on a tractor, I suppose, but it is all going to come portioned up and packaged up, ready to go into the freezer that we don't actually own.
So we need to own a freezer.
Yeah, but you know, it's to be enough meat for a year.
I just thought it was very surreal. I just listened to the conversation. I'm not against it at all. I mean, I'm massively for it, as you know.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it was just.
By the way.
I bought half a cow.
So we will see you next week.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Bye.